96.1 ODZ Central New York's greatest hits. I'm bubbling with joy right this second because I got a call from an old friend of mine, and he's got some really, really cool news for you. And I want to set the stage real quick. Many of you may not know that I used to teach a lot of piano lessons back in the day before I jumped on the radio. And I've got one of my former piano students on the line right now, and it's because he's gone from knowing zero about music before he started taking lessons to, boom, he has now got his own solo piano CD that's being released tomorrow, I believe. So his name is Mike Bohne. Mike, how you doing today, brother?
Good. How you doing, Keith?
Oh, I'm flipping out, dude. You know, I have so many memories of you in the studio, and you went from not even knowing what a quarter note was to making your own disc. How in the world, man?
Yeah, it's been a real long journey, you know. I don't know anything about music and music theory in general, and to where we're at right now. Step one was learn how to play.
Yeah, I remember you were a student at UC. I forget the year. I want to say it was like maybe 2008 or 2009, something like that. And you gave me a call, and you came in, and we just hit the piano and just started teaching you how to play. And boom, a few years later, you did a national competition with one of your idols, David Lanz, and won that. So, I mean, now you're making a CD. So let's talk about the disc, man. So what's the inspiration behind it? Of course, you've been playing. I mean, you left the Mohawk Valley area for a little while. I've been working in Albany, I believe, right?
I've been working in the capital region at a strategic communications firm, which I got into partly, I think, because of the desire to be creative. And so the disc is called Disenchanted. So the inspiration behind that, to simply put it, I mean, I woke up one day and I looked at what I'm doing, and I was like, I'm not doing anything that's making an impact or that matters. And, you know, at the time, my worldview was really shifted on music, and I thought I could create something, make others inspired. I realized I'd stopped dreaming, I'd stopped working towards something. So when I decided to sit down at the piano, that was like a turning point. And from there, I was able to build something, and that's kind of how it all started. So Disenchanted kind of speaks to that turning point where I looked around, everything was ugly and dead, and, you know, I needed to make a change. So that's the concept behind it, and that's the message. And now moving on, the tracks on I kind of capture the past 5 years or so, which I think all great music should do, whether you're the listener or you wrote it or whatever it is.
I got to say, man, I mean, I'm coming up on my 20th year as a teacher, and I talk about you all the time. I mean, you're the epitome of motivation. You went from zero to doing this. In fact, you went from zero to being very good in a matter of months to a year, and then you were out performing already, just having a ball. And I just talk about you as an example of motivation and dedication because you're one of my top 5 favorites that I've ever taught in my career, man. And it's just a pleasure to be able to see how much you've done with this, even though your career isn't in music, that you're still after it and it's still after you, man. It just warms my heart.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was challenging to get going, but I knew it's something I wanted to do. And part of the message, too, behind it, just if folks, you know, feel paralyzed or they have a dream, but they don't even know where to get started, you know, I think start at step one and see where you go from there.
Speaking of steps, you would show up at my studio, you would walk from your dorm at UC and come over to the studio across the way in a snowstorm. Nothing kept you away from jumping on that piano, you know?
Yeah, I know. I always gravitated towards pianos in general, and I was like, gotta go play something.
Well, you've turned heads everywhere you've gone, and I'm really excited to see this CD release happen. So it's releasing tomorrow, Mike?
Yes, and it should go up sometime early in the day. That's kind of a little bit out of my control, but all the information that folks would need, go to michaelbohne.com.
And Bohne is B-O-H-N-E.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a physical disc, or is it available digitally as well?
We're going to have distribution physically. If you want to grab it digitally, too, it's going to be on all those great places that you can get your music, CD Baby, iTunes, Pandora, Spotify, Rhapsody, Amazon.
Your head must be spinning, man. If mine's spinning, yours must be like turned all the way around.
Yeah, I mean, for a first CD, it was an interesting project. It was challenging to comprehend how to get it all together, but there's a lot of great resources out there to pull things together like that.
Is it okay if we play a track on the station?
Yeah, we can do that, definitely.
Okay, what track did you have in mind?
Just to kind of give an introduction for things. I've been previewing the first track for folks called Through It All. We all have memories and things that, you know, we'd rather live that memory every single day or never relive it again. But no matter what, those memories make you who you are, and we all look back and reflect on those sometimes.
That's profound, man, and I got plenty of memories with you.
Hopefully you're good.
They all are, man. I don't have one bad memory of you. You kidding me? But speaking of memories, this is also pretty crazy for me today because it's a huge role reversal. You were actually a radio DJ at UC, at the radio station there. And you brought me on board to do an interview for the band that I was in, Dashboard Nixon at the time, and we hung out on the radio, and now it's completely flip-flop. Now I'm interviewing you.
I know.
How cool is that?
Complete flip-flop, yeah. So I was drawn to music at the time, and then before I even, decided to go into the career path, too, that I'm in now, kind of just gave me another platform to use to help me develop as a musician, too. while I was doing that, my career turned into public relations. Another thing really that's interesting, which combines that and music, is I was kind of like looking at all the tools I have available now from a marketing perspective. Like, there's just so many tools out there to market yourself as a musician that, maybe you or anybody didn't have 5 years ago.
That's true, yes.
Internet marketing and music and all that sort of stuff is just, it kind of collided for me too, so that was interesting.
Yeah, because I remember thinking, oh man, I wish he would have done something musically, but you know what? Creativity manifests itself all over the place.
Exactly.
Well, one more trip down memory lane, if I may, because I'm just having so much fun here. I mentioned earlier about the David Lanz piano competition on YouTube. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that was and what happened from that?
That was a great experience. So, when I was still kind of figuring things out, writing my own songs a little bit, David's style and other artists too that have emerged that are doing similar things, those folks really inspired the music that I've created here on this disc. He had an online competition there with YouTube. I picked a track and performed that. The winner got to go on a week-long retreat. I was over at the Music Conservatory in Washington with a small group of folks. It was a week with David, kind of learning how he does his craft, and it was just a really enlightening, eye-opening experience.
Did that have anything to do with your record now? Were you able to plug in some of the stuff you learned from that?
Yeah, and tying into that, the first track, one of the riffs in that tune came to me there.
And you know that he's just outside of Rochester now, not far from us.
Yeah, he recently moved there. I saw on the news, actually. He was doing some house concerts when he first got there. Fortunately, I couldn't make it. I really wanted to.
Pretty soon we're going to be going to your concerts, I do hope. This is not the end we're going to hear of Mike Bohne, I don't think.
No, I think this is a good introduction to what I can do. And these tracks specifically that I've been writing over the past 5 years or so to share with folks, because I think that the message that I was trying to deliver there is important. And from here, this is a platform to continue and move forward and see what comes out next, see what happens.
I can't wait, man. I've been watching you since the beginning, and I'm even more excited now than I was back then. Well, thanks for spending some time with us on the air. I appreciate it, dude.
Oh, thanks, Keith. I appreciate it.
So get his record, Disenchanted, now, all over the place. And, of course, if you want to get that personal touch, you can email him, and I'm sure that he'll autograph that record for you and ship it off. Well, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, not just as an instructor, but, just as your friend. So this is really cool. Mike, it's been a pleasure to talk to you once again, and I can't wait for the next time, okay?
Oh, awesome. Thanks a lot, Keith.
You bet.